To the amazing. Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, beautiful Mariam. How are you doing today?
Hello. I'm good, Macy. How are you?
I am doing amazing. I am so excited because today we having you for the first time on the beautiful podcast. We're back on track, guys. It's all within, and I have you for the first time, Mariam, honoring this space where we can share openly. And I just wanted to say thank you again from the bottom of my heart to be willing to move forward and just experience that with me. And it's just very fun and exciting. And when we connected soul to soul, I just thought it would be so beautiful and blessing and heartfelt to have those conversations recorded and to see if we can touch hearts and, like you said
Mm,
earlier, make them feel space and heard.
mm.
So before we dive into our topic of today, I would love us to have a quick introduction because it's your first time here. So please, Miriam, the floor is yours. Just allow yourself to present yourself the way you want.
Of course. Thank you for having me. First of all, I'm really, really happy. It's my first experience of talking in a podcast. Um, I yeah, and especially with you, someone I really found this crazy soul connection, or I feel drawn to your energy of being a coach, a life coach, or just like a spiritual human being. And as I told you, I like or I love having raw, deep, authentic talks with people just to make them feel heard, seen, to give them a space of being vulnerable, to show up for yourself, to feel yourself, to connect with yourself. So I'm happy that we can do this today. Um, for my background, so I'm a yoga teacher and nutritionist, but I have to say I'm not working that much as a nutritionist lately. It's more, my focus is more on yoga, and it's even going more into the direction of coaching and doing meditation. So I'm going also more into your direction, I guess. Maybe that's also why I'm feeling very drawn to this format that we are having today. And yeah, I'm very happy that you have me here today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for this beautiful introduction of yours. It's so you as I can see. It's so simple and authentic, and I love that. I second you. So just to start over, because we have you as a new guest, but as you said, I'm a multipreneur, but my focus and my passion really is helping people raise awareness, self-awareness into their day-to-day life. So of course, through the coaching that I make, I like to say more it's an accompaniment. It's I use the mindset growth, I use the belief systems in order for us to rebirth and rethink the way we see life so we can be more free,
Mm,
more sovereign, and more empowered. So definitely this is what I do, and this is what my passion is. And along all of the sides, I have been more and more called, and I've done that in the past, doing retreats, collaborating, and doing all types of um, compatible contributions. So definitely that's what I do. Yeah, from Mindset Mentor Macy. I was in my head, I was like, what am I supposed to say? I just want to talk about the topic. So yeah, let's go dive in because for me, the most
Let's
important
go
thing is the
directly.
thing. So today, as we were introducing each other and just having this moment together before the recording, is the topic of rejection. Miriam talked about it in such a beautiful and inspiring way, and I just couldn't wait already to dive into it. So for me today, I would say, what is, how do we perceive and what is rejection for us, and how can we carry on with it? How can we make peace with it? So yeah, I would just invite us to just dive right into it and see how that lands for you. So I would love for you to just start, Miriam, because you had so many beautiful things happening, and I think you're in the topic right now as well. So yeah, if you want to say more of how you feel what it is, and yeah,
Mhm.
just go with the flow.
Of course, of course. So rejection, as I told you, is something or a topic that is very present in my life since a year. It happened in many formats, partners, jobs, work, friendship as well. Um, so a lot of very essential things that we need to feel good in our lives, actually. So not little things like I don't know, not getting the car that you want. It's really essential things. It's from human beings. It's something that is also a substantial energy, right? Work is somehow also substantial energy, so it does something with your entire energy. If the money is not flowing the way you want it to flow, you think about your safety nets and all these kind of things. So when I was confronted with rejection, um, it happened not only once, it happened a few times. So I had to um, find out what was my pattern with rejection. And for a long time, I had a pattern to isolate myself and to find ways to get out of this by myself because as we also talked a little bit before, we come from different cultural backgrounds. So my cultural background is a little bit also very working class system, like just I don't know, move on. Life will get better. Just work your way through it and
Mm,
don't think too much about your emotions, that
mm,
somehow you can also suppress a lot of emotions. And next time you get rejected, maybe you have the same technique, but it's not really solving the rejection. So maybe you will find yourself in the same situation again with the same partner that you attract, with the same work situation that you attract. So I was kind of confronted last year with a few situations where I was thinking, okay, I have a specific technique how to move through rejection, but it's not making me feel grow. So I
mm,
had to switch something, and I had a dear friend of me who actually told me after I was one day super sad. He told me, Mariam, actually, you just have to sit with it. You really have to sit with it. You have to go right through the feeling of pain, of whatever you're feeling, of whatever is whatever that rejection is causing inside of you. Maybe a childhood wound, a childhood trauma. I don't know what it is. Rejection of not finding your money. So there is something that is happening to you for a reason. You can only solve it by going right through it. So when he told me that, I told him, but I did this already. I sit with myself for 2 months by myself. I cried, I was sad and everything. Yeah, but Mariam, you didn't solve the problem. You still have something that is not healed. And I don't know what happened, but for a while I understood, okay, obviously I'm also feeling there's something essential changing right now in my life. So I need to separate myself maybe a little bit longer, but not in the way of separating myself and doing things by myself, not that way that I used to do. It was more a thing of um taking a little bit like a step out of my life to see my life from a different view and also to see my life how I want it to be actually. So what do I'm actually aiming for? What are my goals? And I think once I understood what I actually want to achieve, where do I want to go? What do I want to have partnership work wise? I don't know, materialistic wise. Um, then I somehow understood the dynamic of what I don't have right now and why I don't have it and what I need to change in order to go where I want to go. And that's something that took me a long time. I think maybe a year. And even now, like I'm just saying, like I went half the way. I'm sure that there's way more things to do, but I can just see because, as I told you, I just got rejected today from a work interview. So that's something that just showed me how much I changed my way of how I go through rejection now. how I can sit with the feeling, how I'm not trying to suppress, how I'm not trying to isolate myself, run away. I'm sitting with the feeling. I am sad. I'm showing my vulnerability. I'm taking myself serious. And then I try to share with people that I like to keep in my inner circle. It makes me feel like I have my community. I am loved. And it also makes me feel like, okay, if it was not meant for me, then there's something else that is coming. So every rejection, as we say, is a redirection, right? So I'm just trying to think in right now in a different way. There's also, I'm also always thinking if you get rejected, you have to take responsibility for yourself. You know, the person who's rejecting you, it is coming from that person, but you also gave the energy into it. So you gave something into that situation why you're not getting this. Maybe you also give energy into that job interview that made the person feel maybe you're not 100% behind that company. You know, you never know. So I think as soon as we start to take responsibility, we are able to switch and to find our way out of it. So this was already a lot. I'm trying to stop it here or to slow down a little bit. Maybe you share with me how you feel about that, or maybe you want to add or tell me how you feel about the topic rejection.
I love that, Miriam. So exciting. It has a lot of little things I want to, of course, rebound on it and follow through. But it's so beautiful what you shared, and thank you again for sharing. And it makes us realize that everything is connected. So rejection is part of other types of wounds. So there's abandonment, as you must know. There's also, I believe there's also the abandonment and there's also betrayal and there's other ones, but I find that those five ones, the core wounds, it's really like related. So the way we deal with each of those very soft and vulnerable ways to receive it is connecting. So what you said is so powerful because accepting and sitting with it is what's going to allow us to go through it. So the only way through is through, right? So you can
Mhm.
pretend, you can averse, you can pretend that nothing happened, you can pretend you're not hurt, you can pretend all you want all day long or have your different coping mechanism. But to truly go through this feeling and break this pattern is to go through it, right? And I think we cannot repeat that enough. So that can be that can be used for any other forms of wounds that you may experience, which could be betrayal, like I said, or abandonment. You have to sit through it. And it was very beautiful that you mentioned the patterns because life has a way to send us, I believe, lessons until we really grasp the essence of the lessons.
Yes,
So for me, when
I
you
believe
said,
so too.
so for me, when you said that you experienced this rejection in the interview, it was for you another perspective and another confirmation that you grew out of it and you're able
Mm,
through this very challenging experience to see how are you dealing with that. And it's okay, like to say, to embrace the sadness, to embrace the frustration, to embrace the misunderstanding at that moment, right? So I want to backtrack a bit and talk a bit about rejection itself. For me, I feel that rejection is coming in any type of form. So I love that you said substantial energy. I would say on top of it that it's not about the context, is how you feel regarding that. So when the vulnerable part comes out of us, it can be as simple as someone saying, "No, thank you, I don't want your gift." Like it's not something I want, and you really took the
mm,
time to take it. I'm taking a very weird example, but that's what came up to me. It's as
yeah,
simple as someone just, you planned a full, I don't know, weekend trip, and then everyone is like, no, let's not go with your itinerary, Macy, let's just go with another one.
yeah.
Rejection's gonna take all types of shape and forms, and it's can be in different level of intensity. Obviously, like you say, the job interview, it's much more substantial because when you put in your time and energy and you associate the possibility of getting money from it, that's more substantial. So the rejection can be very much more intense, the feeling, right? Um, but I want just to iterate that everyone feel like rejection. Growing up, we all feel rejection one way or another. Why? Because we are in a world that is still growing and unconscious, and we all still have different ways to express ourselves. And I don't believe that people do it in a real way. I just believe that we each other trigger each other this rejection wound one way or another. So it's totally normal to experience that. And when you were sharing, I felt that I felt rejected in very silly ways, like as simple as, someone rejecting my gift or my help, or as simple as being rejected in terms of being present for them and giving them an advice. How many times, because I was kind of telling stuff that people were not willing to receive. And when I started my spiritual journey, everything became so clear and exciting. I was like, my gosh, but it's so evident. The ego
Mm-hmm.
identification, like, why don't people
Mm-hmm.
see it? And I would
Yeah.
just provide
Yeah.
with this point of views or these observations as a gift because I was
Mm,
just so excited to share that. And I was just faced with rejection of
mm,
rejecting what I had to say, rejecting what I thought and what I've seen. And I'm, no, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm not like that, or I don't do that. Oh, no, 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 no. And for
mm,
me, that was so hurtful in the past because I'm like, I'm giving that with so much caring and love and just a passion. It's for me, it was so pure. And then again, we learn it was so pure that I just did not understand why people would reject such help or such perspective or observation that could serve them.
mm,
Um, so I would say that for me, rejection showed up really more in a day-to-day way in my relational with friends and families in terms of how can I show up and how could I help or
mm,
be a presence of them. And telling you that right now is like, wow, that's very interesting. I don't remember showing up in terms of business or in terms of jobs, but that was for me what was very more sensitive.
mm,
Um, so at the end, what I wanted to say is that rejection shows up in different contexts and is when you feel that you're not being welcome in whoever you are, right? It's whenever you
mm,
feel that you're not being accepted in your ways of
mm,
thinking, it's your value in the work field, in as a friend or as a daughter to your family. So it is very omnipresent. So it's very beautiful talking about it right now. And I want to just say that at the end of the day, remember that it's not the whole of you that's being rejected, it's just a
mm,
part. It doesn't represent who you are. It doesn't represent that someone because is rejecting you that you're not worthy. In the contrary,
mm,
it's something that is showing up inside of yourself. It's a reflection, a mirroring of what you
mm,
experience that feels rejected, a part that needs healing, that
mm,
is rejected, and not the whole of you. And when I understood that, it really helped me making peace and being able, like you say, to detach and to be more empowered in the process of discomfort because it was not
mm.
all of me experiencing the rejection. It was just a part of me. So I'm
Yeah.
going to stop there because I feel I could keep going, but I just wanted to, put forward what is the rejection and how I perceive it and how that translated for me. And then, yeah.
I love that. And especially what you said with detachment, that's, I think, such a abundant mindset to practice, which I also had to kind of integrate into my practice, into my mindset practice. If you detach from the outcome, in my case, it was situations like a job, for example, right? I try to detach from the outcome, and as soon as I detached and I didn't even think about the jobs, they were answering me. The moment I was like, I want it. Now I'm in round four. I want it. I want it. Checking my phone every day, every day, every day. I was sending into the universe the desperate energy. I mean, this is a crazy example. This might not happen all the time, but in general, detachment, I think it's a beautiful thing to practice because it also includes the phrase of what is meant for us will find us, right? It will not miss us. And detachment is also um, somehow beautiful in the way of not feeling like something is personal, as you say, like rejection is only related to a part of us, not to our whole human being. And the way you felt rejected in society or in family wise or friendship wise, I don't know, with your energy or with your spiritual energy, maybe only. I can totally relate to that because as soon as you open or you have a higher consciousness of the world, of energies, of humans, you go through life in a different way. So I totally see you and feel you there when every time I come to my family and I feel like I'm talking in my spiritual language with them, I'm also feeling rejected. I always get a little bit of, oh, the yogi is here, energy. So and sometimes I even feel like, but you are not awake yet. You don't even know what I see, and I can see things that you don't see right now, but then I also had to understand that it is not my work to enlighten someone. They have to find their own way. And I was actually thinking for a while, how can I find the balance of still being with that type of people, which also includes family members, um, and feel aligned with them, and not to think all the time, oh, but I'm thinking in a higher awareness way about things. So
Mm-hmm.
this was a little bit difficult for me, because I like to be in both worlds, in the higher conscious world, but also in the simple world.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something I had to deal a little bit with. Maybe you can resonate with that. I'm not sure. And yeah, so basically, when I go back again to detachment and just understand, okay, when I am with my family or friends and I let out the simple way, the not over analyzing, overthinking, Mariam, um, I can still like find joy in that. So I try to detach from
Exactly.
that, yeah.
I love that. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. I just as you were talking, there's already topics coming out and emerging from that. We could talk about the contrasting of different self-awareness and ego perspectives that as you grow out, it becomes a clash. And I've kind of learned and learned more to make peace with it. So we could definitely talk about it because I feel like you experienced that as well and we related on this matter. We can also talk about the power of letting go because this is exactly it. And I say it often with my clients, I say it through my content creation. The the thing you want the most, the only way for you to get the things you want the most is by letting go of this thing that you want the most. And
Mm,
that's it's so it sounds like what did you say, Macy? It's just silly, but that's exactly it. If you let go energetically and expectively and you trust that it will happen either way or not, it doesn't matter because it will be the way it is. So it comes out of trust, trust of the universe as well. So this is something that more and more is important to practice. And like I said, everything is connected, then it will free the space of resistance, the space, like you said, of desperation, the space of fear, and it just allows and opens up. I say it like an expansion and opening up of channeling of how the world is being created and manifested as of now, right?
mm,
Time is fleeing, and I feel we could keep talking, but I feel we could conclude with different ways and techniques um, to cope with rejection. And I had an idea. I had something I wanted to say regarding that, but it will, I guess, come back to me. But at the end of the day, when you are dealing with this, the way I see it, oh yeah, the way I see it is when there's a rejection happening, there's something here to be enlightened. Like, what is happening inside of me? Why do I feel rejected? Why did I not feel safe,
mm,
right? So there's multiple questions that can be offered for you to bring enlightenment of why you're experiencing that. So the question comes to mind, and you can share others for you as well. Is yeah, why did I not feel safe at that moment? Why,
mm,
what exactly made me feel rejected, right? And what are the emotions coming out, regarding the
mm,
specific situations, right? And finally, another question would be as well, what can make me feel safe and realize that all alone, all along, I was safe to start with, right? And that was just
mm,
a specific thing. So that's some top of the head questions I had in my head. Because at the end of the day, what happened is that rejection, like you said earlier, is a two-way street in the sense that you are allowing someone unconsciously to have this role to reject you. So this person maybe had a power or a sensitive role or um, a space that had vulnerability coming out of you, right? So
exactly.
what happened is that when a rejection happens, the way I see it and that allows me to move forward and grow from it is that I understand it's a disalignment. So as much as an employee rejecting a candidature, how do you say that? An application, whether it's a friend rejecting the way you are, what you spoke, or your opinion. What happened is just a question of disalignment. That's how I see it. Is that at that moment, at that specific moment, there's a disalignment of both expectations, a disalignment of what each other is seeking out of friendship or out of a potential professional relationship, a disalignment of where you are at and what you think and how you view the world, right? A
Mm,
disalignment when you are trying to speak with people and just reject the way you think and what you have to offer, it's simply a disalignment. So
mm,
the rejection part is the wounded part that shows up. Oh, I feel rejected.
mm,
That's the wounded, the inner child coming up. But in truth, a rejection is just a disagreement, a disalignment
mm,
of what we actually are at and what we're looking for.
mm,
And once you try
mm,
and you understand and you bridge more and more, and then as you honor this inner child in you and you're able to bridge that, you won't see more and more that it's a form of rejection. It will
mm,
be a rejection, neutrally speaking, but it will not be an emotional rejection. It will just be, oh, okay, I was
mm.
not being retained for that. Oh, okay, this person did just not get what I said. Pura vida, peace. I'm saying often that word. Peace, everything is fine, and I'm just
Yes,
neutrally accepting the differences at that moment. So what happened
yes.
is that I don't become in a judgment space. I'm able to grow out of it. I'm able to grow out of it so I can understand it was just disalignment. I'm seeing it as
Mm,
an observant and a detachment, observant, which is a detachment, and as a it is what it is this or something better. At that moment, it was
mm,
just not being aligned. So that's where
mm,
you grow, taking things less personal. So my two
mm,
strategies here to conclude, for my part, is to allow yourself to sit with it, like you said, very wisely, and question yourself, journal about it. Have those questions going on and what is happening inside that actually hurts you and made you feel rejected, right? And the second part is
mm,
slowly transforming the way you perceive rejection as something that was just disaligned at that moment.
mm. I love that. I mean, there were so many beautiful things inside that. I
I mean,
mean, I mean, the true Macy came out. I love that. Maybe I can just like go into little things that I also resonate so much with. Like if we let our ego confront be confronted with the rejection, it's we cause bigger pain inside us than there is actually pain. Because at the end of the day, as you said, it's just a disagreement. Someone who's just choosing something else, it has nothing to do with you personally.
mm,
You know, it is just choosing something else. For example, that company choosing another person skills that are a better fit for that job role. It has nothing to do with your energy as Mariam or
as
as
you
Macy
value.
or whoever. Exactly. And
Exactly.
it doesn't devalue you. Your worth
Exactly.
is still the same. Your value is still the same. So we keep that in mind. I think we walk detached through life because we can put this into every life situation, right? Partnership as well. If someone breaks up with you, it's maybe that person finds more alignment with something else. And we have to let it go. We have to let the person go and be with who they want to be. And then they see if that aligns with them or not.
Mm,
But it still has nothing to do with us. And I think this is a really, really beautiful thing that you said, or that you went to into the direction that as long as we don't take it personal, as long as we understand that it is not us, it doesn't devalue us, it doesn't do anything to our work. We are still beautiful and whole as we are. We can channel the energy faster, and we can also find acceptance faster and go further faster. And I think some people might struggle with it when they let the energy take over and they put themselves for too long in that state of why is this happening to me,
Mm-hmm.
instead of
Victimhood.
maybe this is happening for you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So if we change perspective, because at the end of the day, everything is perspective, right? We can
Mm-hmm.
choose to see it as failure, or we can choose to see it as a step that is bringing you actually towards your actual goal, to where you want to go,
Exactly.
right?
Oh,
So,
so it's all about perspective, guy. Done deal. Everything in life is all about perspective. I love that so
no need to
much.
talk anymore.
Exactly, it's
Yeah.
finished. I think we're gonna stop here because time flies, and I really want to, respect all of you guys' time as well, and make it, more short and sweet as
Yeah.
much as possible. It was so interesting to touch base with it, and I feel like the only thing I would say is that rejection, neutral way, not in a very personal way, will happen continuously in today's world. It is inevitable because, like you said, we will have this alignment. There will be people choosing other things that fit better their needs in relationships, in jobs, in conversationals. So it will be unavoidable for you to experience this rejection, this disalignment. So the better you will make peace at it and see it as a neutral way, the more at peace you will be hanging and flowing into life, right, with different
Mm,
humans. And I
exactly.
think it's important to mention that, right, because it's not bad per se, right? It's just the
Exactly.
experience. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording. It was a pleasure, guys. We will see each other in the next week
Yes.
to our next topic that will be so deep and interesting as much. And let us know in the comments if you have any questions or if you want to add on to it. It's more than a pleasure. And we'll put as well our contacts and our social media and whatever we need to do. Right. Have a beautiful
Thank
day.
you so much.
Of course. You too.